Al Levine, the Talking Machine. This is Smoking Jim Frazier. This is our show, Pittsburgh Sportsline. You can see us on TV. We've been on TV over 4 years, and we're on Verizon 32 everywhere in the greater Pittsburgh area. And yes, North Side, the city of Pittsburgh, and I'm from Pittsburgh, so you can tell that little bit of an accent. I think I don't have one, but they say a lot of people downtown do, so you figure it out. And Smoking Jim Frazier's an NFL scout, Steelers scout of models, will say that. And Smoking Jim, we just hit a new high on our Facebook page. 4,948 likes. Jim J, that's the most we've been. It's a little over 2.5 years, so I'm very proud of that. I only have one rule on it, Smoking Jim. Everybody likes us first, and yes, I will like your pages within reason. And I do have to explain, since we have a child here tonight, that Smoking Jim likes anything you put out there, and he's had some problems with some X-rated stuff. And he said, Talking Machine, because he calls me that, how do I get rid of that? I go, delete it, and then don't friend these people again. But he's the nicest guy in the world until you bring up a certain area where he's grown up in a certain high school and a certain college. And we're not going to talk about that till later. Enough about him. Everybody knows it's his show, and he lets me do this. You can also watch us Comcast 7. Yes, only Comcast 7 in Bethel Park. And that's how Comcast did it. You complain to them, or you got to move to Bethel Park, because thanks to all my friends and new friends in Bethel Park, Comcast is really killing it in Bethel Park. I appreciate it. Now, here's a nice thing for everybody. If you don't have Comcast, you don't have Verizon, we have something called YouTube. You can find all of our shows, around 400 of our shows there. I was doing some math, Smoking Jim. You could watch our shows 24 hours a day, and I know you don't sleep, for over 2 weeks now. We just crossed the 2-week number. Wow. So that's 24/7 though. Just remember that. Wow. So thanks everybody. We appreciate Bethel Park letting us out to the different neighborhoods. And thanks to Dave Cable. We got Devin Shea here. We got Rosie. She's on camera. And she just learned this in Bethel Park, and she's already an expert. So I guess Devin's a great teacher. We're going to start the show. Our first segment is sponsored by a friend of ours, Skeets Service Station. Skeets Lewandowski sponsors What's on Your Mind. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
here it is. Don't break it.
You got to see Levine. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Appreciate it. 2 weeks ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers honored the 2005 Super Bowl championship team, and it all started with the Chin, Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher coached the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15 years. He got 161 victories, a Super Bowl win, and he was a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year. Cornerback Rod Woodson is the greatest cornerback in NFL history, and he was coached by the Chin. Alan Faneca is the greatest guard in NFL history, and he was coached by the Chin. Troy Polamalu, best safety, coached by the Chin. Casey Hampton, best nose guard, coached by the Chin. Big Ben, best quarterback, coached by the Chin. Heath Miller, best tight end, coached by the Chin. Joey Porter, James Harrison, Hines Ward, all brought in by the Chin. Bill Cowher is so mean and tough that he can win a staring contest with Mount Rushmore. Here's the Bill Cowher's head coaching tree. Don Capers, Jim Haslett, Marvin Lewis, Dick LeBeau, Shane Gailey, Mike Malarkey, Ken Wisenhunt, and the genius, Bruce Arians. 5 years from today, Troy Polamalu goes into the Hall of Fame, and before that happens, put the Chin in.
Well, I just want to tell you, I didn't know he finished. Thanks for clapping, because I cannot hear in the right ear. And I don't know why you're promoting him now, but we always do what's on your mind. So how can I argue what's on his mind? It wasn't any of those subjects that are bothersome to me, except he only got one Super Bowl. I'm just saying, Smoking Jim. Hey, what's on my mind is the Cincinnati Bungles. This is in honor of Myron Cope. He come up with that phrase, and they always used to disintegrate, fall apart, whatever. They look like they had the best players, 20 number one draft picks. I mean, how can you not win like that? They didn't, and they haven't. This year, well, yeah, they didn't. So now look at them. They undefeated. All of a sudden, 2 losses in a row. And what I didn't give us much of a chance, but everybody else looks terrible. And I thought we were bad. So I think we actually have some hope. Hope is alive. Go Steelers. I'm positive we're going to keep that up. They just have to win. If they win out, think what would happen.
Wow.
What's going on? Because I want him, when you hear his little routine that he warms up, because he's a little cold right now. He was out in the cold weather. Go ahead.
Well, Smoking Jim's one of those few people that can vouch for my background, knowing the dangers of Brownsville and Fayette-Nam, growing up down there. So
You didn't stutter or anything? Fayette-Nam?
No,
Okay.
no. That's how it goes down there.
Okay.
Smoking Jim knows, he vouches for me, but things are going well. The blog has really taken off in the last year, like you said. A little bit of
Tell us how to see the blog.
You go to whitebeltsurvivalstrategy.blogspot.com. It's really an entry-level, kind of a big brother thing for new people that are maybe martial artists looking to get their foot in the door, because there are maybe some unspoken rules or some gym etiquette that you may not be familiar with. It may not be posted on the locker room as far as what to do or...
The unspoken rules.
Exactly, and I kind of put those out to you kind of in a big brother type role so you don't have to embarrass yourself.
I like it. Now, we need a little background because, I'm getting old, so I forget some of this stuff. So how did you get started?
I got started not too unlike a lot of people. I started to see UFC on TV. I became a fan as a young kid, but growing up in southwestern Pennsylvania, I was a football player.
What position?
Fullback and strong safety.
Wow, that's a nice combination.
Hey, listen, I'm a rough and rugged type
You
guy.
like to hit guys, okay.
210 pounds of twisted steel and sexy people. I don't know if you know or not.
That's what I wanted.
There it is.
Yeah, I was looking for that.
But yeah, so
So that's how you started.
Yeah, I kind of started being athletic that way, and then as I got more into college and broke away from the sports, I needed something to kind of entertain myself a little bit. I wasn't quite big enough for collegiate athletics, but I took well to intramural, and then after college, a friend of mine said, hey, would you be interested in learning how to strangle people and break joints? And I said, yeah, you bet. And
not go to jail.
Right.
Okay.
And, yeah, right.
Clarify that.
Of course,
right.
because again,
and nobody dies in this type of thing at this point.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, and I kind of.
It is a family show. Okay.
And then that segued into me becoming friends with folks in the local community. Matt Layshock that runs Pinnacle Fighting Championships, and others throughout the community. And I started writing and doing some things around, and kind of segueing onto that. Coming up this Wednesday, the 27th of November, we'll be having a Pinnacle Fighting Championships in Cheswick, PA at the Shriners.
Sure.
Lots of good fights coming up on that, but I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit later on.
Oh, we'll hit that, but I wanted more about you in the
More
background
about
there.
me.
Yeah,
More about me,
definitely.
of course, it's my favorite subject.
It's a shameless promotion. I already got some of your business out there, so we might as well get some more. Go ahead.
Of course, if anybody is interested that would like to come and train with me, it's not my school, but if you guys want to come, we're at Steel City Martial Arts, located in Castle Shannon, PA, just up the street.
Where?
Castle Shannon.
Hold it. It's almost in Bethel Park, as you would say about Monroeville. He's about 2 miles from my house, Smoking Jim. I could actually walk there because it's all downhill from my
Never
house.
heard of it.
You drive by it every time to the studio on Tuesday night. But that's all right. Go ahead.
And,
He digressed.
Smoking Jim is good for that, right? He just throws out those little quips real quick.
No bombs. Look, he blew it up there.
But yeah, I kept going with the grappling and really took to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing that now for just north of 3 years, and I love it. I train 4 or 5 days a week. So if you guys are interested and want to come out, you can look for me. I'll be a familiar face and kind of hold your hand.
Tell them how easy it is to find. It's on Route 88.
It's on Route 88, Library Road. It's right there on depending on which direction you're coming from. But if you're coming from the city, which I imagine most of you would be, it'd be on the right-hand side of the road.
If he's coming from the airport, it'll be on the left side.
If you're from the airport, on the left.
Because we don't know what airport he goes to.
Well, you never know where Smoking Jim's going to show up. He's a man about town. He's a mover. He's a shaker.
Not to put this out there that it's out of school, but if there's sweeties around and they're Jimmy's sweeties, you'll see Jimmy.
That's true.
Just follow the exploits on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Because what I like, he's only putting out pictures with women on Pittsburgh Sportsline, except when we get a shot of us on the show. It's a miracle. I don't know how it happens. And what else are you doing now then?
Right now, the blog is the main focus. I still do a little bit of writing for MMA, which is,
I heard you're going to do something announcing on Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, this Wednesday at the...
With my friend Dave.
Exactly, Dave McKinney. This coming Wednesday at the Pinnacle Fights in Cheswick, I'll be doing the commentary with Dave McKinney. Wow. So, if you're enjoying what you're hearing now, you can get a little bit more of that.
I don't know. I'm not really enjoying this. I wanted more about the action. So far, I'm hearing about him, and I'm hearing about you. But I asked you, so it's unfair of me to be that way.
To be fair, yeah, you did ask. But, we're going to keep going with the commentating. I do a little bit of writing still for the aforementioned Matt Layshock on standthemup.org. It's a MMA website. We cover a lot of the local region and maybe even expand that a little bit to the tri-state area. Really anything.
It's well written, I'll tell you, and I enjoy reading it. It's helped to educate me since I help promote a lot of MMA guys and girls in the area. It's helped me to learn about rear naked chokes and all kind of things and arm bars. I didn't know that. I played baseball and football, so I'm a simple man.
Right, and that's part of the fun of your program, that you promote some of those things and you get the word out there for some people that not necessarily may not know, but just the ones that may be curious and want to get to experience it a little bit more. And we got like a lot of local events. Usually every 2 or 3 months. If it's not Pinnacle, they're usually Gladiators of the Cage.
Right, and then you got King of the Cage coming in, and they're all over the nation, even worldwide.
Right. And that comes in through the Meadows once in a while. So there's always going to be some sort of an event that's going to be going on. You'll probably see us write about it. I'm sure you guys will talk about it, and it'll be out there for you guys to come out and check out. Well,
I can't make it this Wednesday. I'm going to be at boxing in West Virginia. But my right-hand man, who kept saying for a year, why do you go to that MMA? You help announce boxing with me. You got to come to boxing. I go, as soon as you learn about MMA, you're going to be hooked. Listen to him. This is my greatest student on MMA.
Well, it's fun because it gives a different flavor to that sort of combat athletics. You take like a collegiate wrestler and you put him in a boxing ring, it's not going to be very fair. Same thing if you were to take a boxer and you were to put him in just with strict grappling rules on an NCAA wrestling mat, it's not going to be fair.
Right.
When you force somebody to have to adapt to both of that, or those worlds, or a stand-up fighter, whether it be boxing or maybe Muay Thai, kickboxing, or
jiu-jitsu,
and then you bring in that ground game of American wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Russian Sambo, you start to work in those different aspects. It creates a fun environment. And I like to kind of give it the example of just different types of sports. I mean, there's slow pitch softball if you're into that, fast pitch baseball if you're into that. So if you want to watch boxing, it's still an option. Mm-hmm. But MMA is the fastest growing sport in the world. It's fun to watch, and believe it or not, it's still relatively very safe.
See, there's
another bomb.
Yeah, I don't know what that reaction was, because he does that with sweeties. Luckily, we have no ring card girls or models. So tell me how many photos, if you can. Just give me a text or something.
Sure.
That how many he gets with sweeties, just for Pittsburgh Sportsline. I mean, Smoking Jim Frazier.
The official over-under we're going to put now is at 11.
11.
But it's still early in the week. The official numbers aren't going to run until Wednesday.
Well, they're all friends of ours, too. I've actually been in 1 or 2 photos with them. So, but I got lucky.
I didn't want to air the dirty laundry.
No. Well, he actually was out of the way, and they go, "Where's Smoking Jim?" They go, "Okay, come on, we'll get a photo with you. I'll post it tomorrow just so you know it's true." And we've had guests too that are ring card girls, models, etc.
Oh, nice.
If they can talk sports, Smoking Jim, they got to talk some sports.
I think you'd be surprised. A lot of them can.
Well, I'm talking about Smoking Jim.
Well,
He doesn't vet
right.
people,
Yeah.
and you understand that. He thinks I'm talking about a dog vet, so we'll get over that later on. So no problem. Anything else you want to close with? Because I appreciate the background you gave us, talking about the safety issues, talking about the fun you have, the blog you have, and Matt Lashock's blog, or no, website, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Everything is going to be at WB Survival. I'm sure you can probably put a bumper up on that, or it'll be in the show notes if you can't spell. But again, it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all forms of social media at WB Survival.
And everybody that's a guest on here, see Devin Shea, write down one piece of contact information that you would like. It'll be on air when we do this. This will be up on Wednesday night, and it'll be about 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and it's on the 5 times during the week, Smoking Jim, and then it's archived forever on YouTube. So whatever you said, it's history now. You got it.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks, Jesse. Smoking Jim, I don't even know how to introduce this next guest except to just say his name, Santa. Ho, ho, ho. It's Santa Claus. Good.
How you doing, Santa? Nice to meet you.
Have a nice seat here. Be careful. I know it's hard to see past that beard you have.
Beautiful beard. 1,800 years old.
Merry Christmas, Santa Claus. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know this is getting to be prime time right now.
It's prime time, but you know, I've been in Pittsburgh now for a couple of days. I was here on Friday for light up night.
Where are you? I didn't know. I missed that.
And then I'm going to be here a couple weekends in December. First and foremost, I'm going to be here December the 19th.
Hold on. Wait. I got something. They got to pull a close-up here. I always do shameless promotions, too. So anybody has a flyer, hint, then we could probably put that up when you come up.
Then I'm going to be visiting Jessica Lee.
Smoking Jim promised he'd be there. You can order tickets now. She's a great jazz singer. They're doing a old Hollywood Christmas with
right.
jazz and blues. RML Jazz will be with them, and Jessica Lee Jazz and Blues. If you want to see a show, it's kid-friendly. It's 6:30. The gates open up. 7 o'clock. Free hand drumming lessons, even for you, Smoking Jim.
I'll be there.
She's singing for cereal for the food bank. So you bring a non-perishable box of cereal, $12 to get in. How can you go wrong? Week before Christmas. And the bonus is,
I'll be there.
you got it. And Santa, you can walk right through, sir. We're not against anybody using the bathroom. We appreciate it.
Anyhow, she's going to jazz up Christmas songs like you've never heard them jazzed up before.
Wow.
She's a good little singer and a beautiful young lady. I suggest everybody get their tickets and come out and see her.
We appreciate that. I'll have to tell her that Santa gave her a good plug here.
She's going to be at the Oak Theater in Oakmont. And the Saturday before that,
Oh, listen to this. Wait till you hear this one.
I'm going to visit my good friends Johnny Angel and the Halos.
All right.
And that will be December the 12th.
Right, so plan to go out to Oakmont 2 weekends in a row.
It's going to be fabulous.
And you meet Santa both times.
And you meet me both times. I will be there both times.
And if you're a child or childlike, you may get some gifts. Santa's known to hand out a couple gifts, so.
And then if you're on the naughty list, you might not get any.
Oh, I didn't even. I'm all about positivity. You know that, Santa.
Yeah,
I think everybody's nice. You take care of the naughties, okay?
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on our show.
Okay, and I just want to wish everybody, if I don't see you, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Could you give us a ho, ho, ho or something?
Ho, ho, ho.
All right. Thank you, Santa.
Okay, Smoking Jim.
Let's talk about you. Give us a little background. When did you start playing football?
Wow.
Think about it. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. All I know is I was around 12 years old when I first got my first real helmet. You know, during them times, you used to get the little suey helmets with the funny little face mask.
Yeah.
Well, down the street, I had Channel Sports Center, so I was able to, buy some cages. But one year, a good friend of mine, Mailman, who used to, he helped executive produce The Chronic 2 with Dr. Dre. Well, he came down to my house because I guess Burroughs was getting ready to play Whiteside in a game on the hill. I was growing up on the hill. Well, 15 pin helmets came up stolen, and I ended up getting a pin helmet around that time. We burnt the pit sticker off the side of it, and that was my first helmet.
You improvised.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it.
So I'll say around like 10,
Did it
11,
fit
12.
though?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Just wanted to check. Custom made.
It was lucky,
You need that.
Well, we didn't have Little League football on the hill at the time. Either you had to go to the north side or you had to go to Homewood or Wilkinsburg.
No, I understand. A lot of areas, they're making a comeback now, and some never have.
Yeah,
so
sure
I
did.
appreciate that. That's why we're trying to promote these good things. I know you're a coach, and you do a lot of great things in the community. Let's start digging right into that.
I came home from Philadelphia around like 96, 97. And I got my first coaching gig when Rob Rutherford and Nate Brown and all of them guys and Chuck Griffey and them, Brown and them was juniors, I believe, at that time. Or seniors.
Okay.
They were seniors, and that was my first time coaching, and I happened to be coached the linebackers, but also coached the offensive line a little bit too.
Nice.
So that was my first gig.
That's quite a difference, the defense and offense.
Yeah, well,
A lot of coaches stay with one area, one side of the ball.
I was blessed to be able to coach under Gus Catneast for those 4.5, 5 years, and then learning offense.
That's great.
Because when we played, we ran out of an I formation. When I came back, it was spread, 3 receivers, 4 receiver sets.
It was wide open.
It was wide open. So getting to understand his concepts and learning, I learned offense also.
That's super. So when you have good mentors, and that's why I'm bringing this out about you.
Right.
You're one of those mentors now.
Yeah,
and that's what I respect, because it doesn't matter where you came from, how bad you had it, woe is me.
Right.
You got to do something yourself. And you do need help.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to help people, and that's why with our show, we try to bring great people on that are doing great things in our community. Doesn't matter what color, who you are, what school you might have gone to.
That matters.
Because I went to Keystone Oaks, so, I don't know how many championships we had, not many.
Right.
But that's just how it was.
Jim, how many Gateway got?
6 state titles.
Oh, wow.
At least he knows one thing. They didn't teach math, because he doesn't do much figuring when we add things up or subtract. But he knows how many championships they have. Yeah, well, I tell him just go 1 + 1 = 2, because we're doing simple math here.
Simple, very simple math.
Definitely. And he'll do a play X and O here, So
Guys, our guys is great.
yeah, who are you coaching now?
Well, I'm coaching Little League football still. I'm with the Lincoln Saints.
Okay.
Over the years we were the Big Cats and stuff, and we changed the name to Saints.
Okay.
This is my second year back. Well, my first year back out of retirement.
Out of retirement? What happened?
Well, I left one organization, and then I sat out for a couple years, and I said I'll go back. My nephew wanted to play for the Saints, so we came back, and he talked me into coaching again.
Wow, he sold you on that.
Yeah, to get a chance to coach my nephew, it's huge to me.
No, family means a lot, sure.
Yeah.
No, that's great stuff. How'd they do?
We won a championship. We actually
See how I try to get those things out?
We
a
won a
modest
championship
man.
this year. We won a championship this year. This is the first time the Lincoln Saints big team, the 13, 14-year-olds ever won one. I was telling Jim, one of our coaches on our coaching staff coached that team for 18 years, never came close. But
Wow.
we finally we got one, and we looking pretty
What's
good
the
for next
secret?
year.
What's the secret? If you have one, hard work. No.
The teaching part of it.
Okay.
A lot of people, they coach, they get into X and O's, and they got these fantastic plays, but being able to teach the sport and having kids that's like sponges, they want to learn, and being able to teach that stuff was real cool. But the first was teaching them, getting them all on board, the focus as a team, and play as a team. And there's 3 sides of football. It's just not offense and defense, it's special teams. So,
What about being in shape, Coach?
Oh,
because I see that nowadays. Nobody wants to run.
Well, it starts off early. I mean, in camp, back when we start in August, July, August, and September, by the time the school year comes, you lose daylight savings time. And majority of the time with the kids like that, once they work hard, you don't need to keep going through all of that.
Pounding them, yeah.
Pounding them.
Yeah.
You know, we give them off on Mondays and come in on Tuesdays. And, you know, like I said, you have to be in shape. Because one of the greatest speeches I heard was Jimmy Johnson give that speech to the youth, talking about how fatigue is for cowards.
Good point.
You know, that was a great speech.
Oh, yeah, I've heard it, yes.
And I tell my team the same thing, even though I stole the whole
Who
thing.
cares?
But
They don't know that.
It works. It works.
Until they go to college, then they'll find out.
Yeah, it
or they
works.
see it on ESPN
It
one
works.
time. Or,
It works. And then telling them not to be afraid to dream. If you want to win a championship, believe it. Just dream it. And I kept telling them, you know, I kept having this dream, but I don't know who was holding the trophy up. But all I know is it involved the trophy and just putting that seed in there. And then, you know, each week is a new
it sounds
season.
like you have a lot of fertilizer too.
Yeah,
To make it grow.
Well, yeah.
And then you put water on it.
And let it grow.
Yeah.
Let it grow well.
And the thing is, I always tell everybody, just dream big. Because if you have a small dream and you obtain it,
yeah.
what do you do next?
Well, you got to think, it came early with us, you know, with me, because like I said, being a part of the only city team to win one,
Right.
you know, the first year was Brashear that was allowed in it. I believe it was the 88 team, but they
And
lost.
Jimmy
I wanted to
Lincoln
say
in
the
it.
Central Catholic or something.
Yeah,
Right.
Central.
And then we came along, and basically it was at the time period, nobody knew what Perry was going to do. They didn't hear what was going on in that locker room. They didn't know. They was picking Westinghouse or Peabody's to beat those teams.
I
but
know I didn't pick you.
We snuck in through the back door. And
You hear what he said.
Yeah.
Just keep ignoring
Yeah, I
it.
know.
We're
But,
focusing here. It's a good show so far.
but the Langley game was our first game of the season when Katniss planted that seed. And he said, you know what, it would be a cool thing to go to Hershey and play Berwick.
And you believed it.
We all did. We all did.
That's awesome.
We all did.
Yeah.
And we was a team where Cat didn't have to come out and tell us to do anything. We done ran 3-4 laps. We
You were
glassed
more
up.
self-motivated
we
because
were
you wanted
really-
to.
Yeah,
You
we
wanted it so bad.
We wanted it. It didn't matter who it, because it was almost like disrespect. Because it was a heck of a talented team, and
Yeah.
we took it as a huge slight. Like, who are they? Well, y'all gonna figure out who we are real soon.
No, that's awesome. That's a
Yeah.
great story. And that's what we like to hear, the stories about success.
Right.
And it doesn't come easy. It comes through hard work.
Well, like I said, I really appreciate y'all guys inviting me on to be able to share this. You know, like I said, by
I
me
told them to
coaching
bring you on
and all
sooner because I see all the stuff that goes out there, and I said, that won't be going on here.
that. No. I get
It's not gonna be
I
there.
get kind of crazy on like that. You know, that's just
No,
with
I
the
didn't say
guys.
that. I just said it's
But
not
here,
going here.
no,
This
no.
isn't true confessions.
Right.
What happens out there stays out there. It's adult
indeed.
stuff.
True indeed.
And there's
True
a
indeed.
difference between children, young men,
True
and
indeed.
then adults.
True indeed.
And as long as you can do that and you're growing up and maturing so you know the right from wrong.
Right.
And you're not like Smoking Jim.
Right.
You know, those are
Right.
certain things. He's a nice guy, but I have to bring it out because he gets too wound up about one subject, or maybe two.
Hey, he's a great guy.
He
Like I
is.
said, you
Look,
know,
he got you here. He's one of the
Yeah.
best salesmen. I thought I was a good salesman.
Hey, when he was saying that he wanted to try to get our team into that city Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
you know, I always appreciated Jim's work. He got on there, he presented sports questions, and he's real. You know, he says what he's going to do.
I tease him a lot. My dad was a basketball referee. I told you that. He's in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And he was legendary. He used to get, George Couples used to call our house.
Oh, okay.
He's on the stadium,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I go, when you think that, I was a shy kid. I'd get the phone and he'd go, this is Mr. Couples, can I talk to, your dad? And it was for the Championship City League basketball games,
Okay.
usually 5th and Shenley, and I got to see some of those.
Yeah, some
So
great teams.
to see that type of stuff go on really made an impression on me.
Right.
On what can be possible,
Right.
what is possible.
Right.
So that's why I always say you just try it.
Yeah.
What happens if you,
never
don't
know.
succeed?
You never know. You never know.
Yeah,
You never
it's not
know.
going to matter. You at
never
least
know.
did it. You were on a team.
Yeah.
Like, we think he was on a team. I have no proof. We've had people go to Gateway. They can't find his number. I'll share a little story. I go out to Buffalo Wild Wings out in Monroeville.
Right.
And he's around, but you can't get a hold of him because he got a text-only phone.
Right.
He answers for me once in a while. So I'm in Buffalo Wild Wings with some friends, and I go, hey, I see Gateway jerseys up here. I go, I wonder if there's a number 22. There's no number 22, like number 34 and something else. I come back to the show and I go, where's your number at? Oh, they mustn't have had it. They were out of them.
Wow.
So I don't know what goes on, but he is one of the nicest guys. And I bring this out all the time because my point was he ended up getting my dad on the first Hall of Fame class in the City League. So I appreciate that. He is a good friend. He is a brother from a different mother.
Right.
So I understand and respect that. So
Well, that committee, it's hard, to do something like that because there's so much great talent. And then when you look at it, there's some talent that was left off.
Well, because they're
haven't got on
opinionated.
there.
I just want to tell you,
You know.
opinions shouldn't come into the meeting.
Right.
I'd leave
Right.
them out. Here's what I like to deal in: the facts.
Right.
And I always say on my show, never let the facts get in the way of your opinion, Smoking Jim.
Right.
And they shouldn't do that in the other people.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
If you're right about something and you prove it to me, like you won.
Right.
You won the championship.
Right.
How can I argue or disrespect that?
Right.
I can't.
Right.
Now, if I said, oh, I think my team won, well, what year was that?
Yeah.
Okay?
And
You got to have a number there. And that's how simple it is.
Wow.
Anything else you want to close with? How would they get a hold of you if you want people in the neighborhood or, just see you around on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. My name is Pep Farrow, P.P. Farrow, F-A-R-R-O-W. My email address is darrnell.farrow@gmail.com. I'm just around the way. Right now I'm at Osnaham with Darrell Porter and Jack Shannon. Trying to turn that thing around and do great things, which they've been doing for a while.
And it'll get better.
I just got one quick question before you go, Pip. Is there a couple of people you can name, a few people that you can name that you think should be in the Hall of Fame next year?
Oh wow! My big.
We don't have enough time.
No, real quick. There's several. They're all.
That's
real
why I was
close to
kidding.
me.
You say them all.
No,
tell me them all.
I'm gonna say
tell
five.
me.
I'm gonna just say five, and
Get
I'm
it on
very
the record
close
here.
to these five. I'm very close to these five. Big Jim Williams.
Yeah, Big Cat.
Big Cat. This is a guy that played for the Bears for 9, 10, 11 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Went as a
I'm
D
sold.
tackle and played offensive tackle. Had a great season for about good 8 years at offensive tackle. I don't see how we missed that.
Yeah.
William Herndon.
Yeah.
William Herndon.
Yeah. Great basketball
Michael
player.
Booth.
Parade All-American.
Curtis Martin. Now, everybody say he only played 1 year. He played 2. Trust
Curtis
me, I have
played
a
2?
personal story.
Curtis played too?
Share it
Yes.
right now. Don't hold back.
Well, we were going all night
Get him
bowling.
water.
All right. My senior year was his junior year, and we were going all night bowling. And my sister was on like cheerleading captain, and she goes sit on his lap. No, if you didn't know Curtis Martin, he would dress real fly. He had a leather sweater on, leather shorts, ballies. My
In high
sister
school?
he dressed, Well, my sister goes sit on his lap, and he like, oh, Carl, you gonna mess up my leather, And I'm sitting like, oh, so my sister can't sit on your lap? Oh, you a pretty boy? So my whole thing was, we get ready to play y'all. So my whole thing was, Kurt, I'm gonna get you, So I end up getting him, And then to turn around, to see that this guy is the 4th all-time leading rusher.
Sure.
And how close me and him are, it's kind of amazing. But he actually played 2 years. A lot of people, I'm not going to let that one slip out.
The secret is out.
That
You heard
second
it
year
here.
did him in. That 2
You
years
heard
did
it
him
on
in.
Pittsburgh Sportsline. Another first. We have good karma with a lot of people
Right.
because we're putting that positive energy out.
Right.
Curtis Martin will be in. Forget
Right.
about the chin. Curtis Martin should be in. All right, Pep.
Hey, thank you.
Thank
bro.
you. I
Thank you,
appreciate
thank
it.
you. So this is 5A Elite Youth Empowerment. So 5A is actually an acronym. So 5A stands for Academy for Advancement of Academics, Athletics, and Awareness. Academics being mind, athletics being body, awareness being soul. So we really take a holistic approach to the way we do things.
I like what I'm hearing here. I like that.
Amen.
I believe in that stuff. So
And so you said, and I did have a lot of success as an athlete, but I had a lot of hurdles.
hold it. Nothing comes easy except for Smoking Jim. I know he's my foil, but that's what I believe. He taught me that. Most people, like for me to pitch, I had to practice hours a day to become good.
Right.
When I played football, I never played organized football until I was a freshman. By the time my senior year, I was only a center on the line, but I got offers to go to school and college. So, I mean, I know it's hard work. That's why I always ask, are people in shape? Do they run? And most don't want to. We know boxers, MMA guys, the best are in the best shape. They're like this.
That's right.
Just like the best athletes like you. Yeah, you had hurdles. Some are personal, some are because of other people's thoughts. You know, sometimes on teams somebody doesn't like you because maybe you're a good guy. They don't like good guys.
That's right.
So I know those problems. Not that I had to face all of those, but I got some of them.
But you have some of them.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
To be honest, what 5A ended up being was, so I had a lot of great success that period. I played on a really, really great team. I don't know if we did exactly what Pepsi and those guys did, but we were close. In fact, those guys were our inspiration. When we went out, literally before every game that we played, we would watch their highlight film.
Wow.
Because that was the motivation
What an honor.
for us. We would watch their highlight film. And our goal was to always try and be better than them. I mean, that was our goal. And we knew that even if we fell a little bit short, we would be considered a great team. And so that was kind of how my thing started in high school football. I never played Little League football before. I never did any of that type of thing. I literally was a guy who just loved basketball.
You got some height there.
A little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd use that.
I'll tell you a story. When I first got to
That's why
Pittsburgh,
we're here. Tell me a story. Come on.
My first day of football camp, I'm literally in the locker room. I'm scared to death. I'm shaking in my boots, right? And I get dressed, and I'm feeling like, once I get my uniform on, I'll feel comfortable. I get out of the locker room, and everybody on the field's laughing at me. And I couldn't figure out why they're laughing, right?
Yeah.
And finally, a guy, he looked at me, and he just kind of pointed. And I looked down, and I still didn't figure out, what is he laughing at? And I looked at everybody else, and I realized that I had my thigh pads where my knee pads were supposed to be.
Oh, no.
And I had my knee pads where my thigh pads were supposed to be. And that was how you could see that I really knew nothing about football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how could you mistake that?
How could you mistake that?
Yeah.
But here I was.
You come to play, though. You come to play.
Right. And that team, my freshman year, that team went undefeated.
Wow.
So it's not like I had a chance of getting in the game anyway. Mm-hmm. But by my sophomore year, I think everybody in the City League was talking about I was one of those players that they should look out for.
Wow.
Sure.
And so it started to just kind of progress from there. And I had this attitude that said, I'm going to do this, and no one's going to stop me.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And that kind of carried on into my senior year. And in my senior year, we make mistakes, right?
Sure.
And I sort of got in trouble my senior year, and I lost a lot of scholarship offers.
Sure.
And I was bitter.
Yeah.
I was hurt. I played with a lot of great players, and I couldn't understand why I was one of those great players, but I didn't get the accolades. Right?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Not the same respect.
Not the same respect. I went to college, very similar story.
Yeah.
You do everything you could possibly do for a team. You build this team up, and then for whatever reason, you kind of get left out, right?
Sure.
And I blew my knee out my junior year in college.
Wow.
And at that point, I had to figure out. I said, "What am I on this planet for?" All my so-called adult life, I've been this super athlete,
Right.
and that's how people know me. And so now that I'm not an athlete, who am I?
Yeah.
How
What's
do
your
I relate to
identity?
the world?
What's your
What's my
identity? Yeah. You need one.
A lot of people.
What did you
say,
do?
I did 5A Elite.
That's what I want to hear.
I did 5A. A lot of people
Definitely.
say, I went to bed and I had a dream and this is what it is.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
my
What happened?
my story is similar.
Yeah.
Because I woke up one day and God said, this is who you are.
Wow. Wow.
All of these hurdles, all of these obstacles, I allowed you to go through those. I allowed you some success, but I allowed you to go through the obstacles and the hurdles because there are a lot of young people who are going to face those obstacles and those hurdles. At the same time, there are a lot of young people who are going to face that success. And how do they handle it? So what I did, I sat back for maybe 2 weeks and I analyzed my life. I was 24 years old and I said, what were all the positive things, all the positive people, all the positive encouragement
You list them
that
out?
I had? And I listed them.
Yeah.
And I listed every hurdle that I hit.
Sure.
And I said, what would have prevented me from hitting those hurdles? What type of support would I have needed? What would it have looked like? What made me successful in this particular area?
Yep.
And I literally started to put these things together, and what I saw happening was my life was being written out in programmatic form.
I got you.
And over the course of about 3 years, it evolved
Sure,
into
a plan,
5A Elite Youth
a plan
Empowerment.
come to fruition.
Right.
And you had to do the plan. You had
But
to
it
work
was something
that
that
plan.
I really didn't plan. I wanted to go NFL.
Well, we don't know what God has planned for us. I keep asking him to let me peek at it.
That's right.
He won't.
That's right.
It's a secret. Every day. But you know what? I'm thankful.
Right.
Every day I get up for the good and the bad.
That's right.
Because the bad helps to create who I am. It builds my character. And although my kids say I have too much character, you know, I understand that. But it does. Look at adversity. That's what makes you stronger.
That's right.
If something comes easy to you, you get lackadaisical. But if something's hard and you have to work for it, look at how sweet it is when you do it.
Right. It's that much more gratifying. And that,
does.
you know, to be honest, that's sort of where we are within this organization. So literally,
Hold it. How do they get a hold of you then? You're getting me pumped up.
We're
so-
at 5aelite.org. It's the letter 5aelite.org. And there's a plethora of information on there.
Right. Try
We
not to
also
use
have-
plethora with smoking. I have a little. I got a little joke here, but on my show, I got guys like I told Pep. Never let the facts get in the way of opinions. Well, Lois Brenner gave me this dictionary. It's from the early 1900s. So I pull it out every so often, and there aren't a lot of those words there because a lot of them got made up by Smoking Jim and others. So it at least keeps him straight that he goes, I got to watch the talking machine. He might pull that dictionary out on me.
wow.
But I use plethora, and he asked me a couple years ago what that even was.
What is that? What is
Yeah,
it?
so
What is it?
it's a lot of stuff, okay?
That's right.
Means there's a lot of good stuff out there
There's a
for
lot
you
of good
still,
Sounds good.
okay?
Sounds good.
Well, I mean, you got like 3 degrees at Cal U, so I don't want to really bring up that type of stuff. Basket weaving and tying your shoes, that doesn't count for a whole lot, okay? Even if you get a business degree, you're sketchy on the map, but okay. So we got a plethora of stuff. 5a.org, right? 5aelite.org.
And then we have a Facebook page, a Twitter, LinkedIn, but you can link to all of it from that website.
Yeah, I saw the Facebook page because I'm big on promoting good. Like I told you, I put good sayings out all the time, and Smoking Jim will try to steal a couple of them. I want you to. You can share them. Even take credit for it because we need inspirations every day. You
I
get
put a
it
little
in-
soul in that
No, you don't. No, I give you more of the soul, and then you just put it out there straight up. I don't know what the soul is. He doesn't even add anything to it. You know, put something to it. Like you're putting your own brand on it.
That's right.
Your own style, because you
right.
made it your own, and you want to show the world that.
That's
Like,
right.
could you bring up one of your your son here? Could he come up, Malachi? Could he come up on the show?
Malachi.
A future Gateway Gator.
And this is what your son gave me.
See?
So I have to bring him up here because you believe it, you practice it, and so does your family.
That's right. And this is the thing. You know, the reality is, my wife and I, we're building this, and we're both ordained pastors, so we're also building a church in the process, but we're building it for him to take over and his brother, who will be
You're
born
creating a
any
legacy.
day. That's what. So in our community, we have to.
Yes, sir.
We have to.
Yeah.
And so one of the things about 5A,
And how old is he?
Malachi just turned 2 on November 15th.
What? I'd have thought 4.
Happy birthday.
All right, that a boy. That a boy.
We didn't interview him, but maybe next year when he comes
Next
back.
year he'll be ready.
All right?
He'll be ready.
You prep him a little more. He handed cards out. He's coming back. I like his style.
He'll come up, he'll shake your hand, he'll give you a business card. That's what he does.
I know he did. I didn't want a second one. My pockets are getting full. But I got this. No, it's great stuff. I appreciate all you're doing and what you're going to continue to do. And will you come back sometime on our show and update us?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you
Let me
very
ask
much.
you guys a question really
You can
fast.
ask a couple. You got a minute or two. Go ahead.
When we think about sport, do we only think about what happens on the field? Obviously, you guys don't because you're doing a sports show.
Thank you.
That's one of the things that we love to do, focus on in 5A. I was a sport management major in college.
Really?
So I understand the culture behind sport. What we like to do is we like to take the already natural born leaders in the community, the youth coaches. That's who are the leaders. And we like to give them the knowledge, the skills, the resources to become life coaches.
Wow. Sure.
So now they're trained as case managers to go in the home.
And you change a life. You change a culture.
That's right.
You help families.
That's right.
And that's what you do it like it's supposed to be.
That's right. And we give them access to our 5 core components. And this is my last thing. Our 5 core components: spiritual enlightenment, educational enrichment, economic empowerment, personal awareness, and social justice. Those are the 5 areas that we feel every young person who touches a football, basketball, baseball need to be moved toward.
Yes, sir.
And so those are the reasons why we get into sport. We get into sport because we understand that sport can change your life, not only in terms of building character, but in terms of building wealth.
Sure.
We're in a sport town, so we want our young people to benefit from that. You're not only a quarterback, but you can be a sport agent. You can do
You
all
name
the
it.
different
It
types
could
of
be
things in
anything.
sport. And that's what we teach in 5A.
Well, Nate, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank
I'm all
you.
in. If I can help you out more, you let me know.
Absolutely.
Stay in touch.
I appreciate
Now that we're
it.
friends on Facebook.
That's right.
All right. You take care.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great
You
job.
got an open invite to come back again.
All right.
If you ever have an event that's coming up and you want to show a poster or something, you're more than welcome to come on and explain what you got going on, a fundraiser.
Well,
Really. Okay,
and
take
we-
advantage of it. We go to different places. We're in different areas. So come on out. This show's seen all over the area. You name it. If they got Verizon 32.
We have our fundraiser going now. It's called Draft for 5. The goal is literally.
See,
we
it
wanna
took my
get-
last statement to get it out of them.
We want to get as many people as we possibly can who believe in this vision to support us at only $5 a month. And from that, we are able to do the things that we need to do on a revolutionary scale.
This
and
is a
not
true
have to
grassroots-
wait. This is true grassroots. And the young people are being trained in grassroots
Let him
community
go. He's
organizing in order to help us facilitate this fundraiser.
Well, I like your style. I know you're going to be successful. Come back and report to us how this is going.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
again.
you.
Take care. Now, what sports did you play?
I played basketball. I played at Duquesne.
Okay.
But
What year?
I came out in '82. I played for 2 years. I transferred there. A lot of people
Okay.
weren't aware of that. I went to a junior college in Iowa for 2 years.
Really?
And
Okay.
then transferred to Duquesne.
I know you wanted to get out of there. Iowa.
Unbelievable. But
That's adversity. It
that's
helped make you stronger. Look at you.
major adversity. Going from Detroit to Clarinda, Iowa, that was culture shock.
Yeah, that sort of sounds like it.
Yes, absolutely.
You went to be a corn farmer then.
I did. The corn was good.
Yeah.
The food was fresh. But 2 years was enough.
That was enough.
Yeah, 2 years was enough.
No, that's great. Yeah, Duquesne, back then they had a lot of great teams. Even
They
a little
did.
before that.
It did. It
Definitely.
Did.
Did
It was
BB
good.
ever carry a book at Duquesne?
Well, actually, BB actually is the cause of me being here.
Okay.
And so I owe a lot to BB. A lot of people don't know I have a short story to tell how I got here.
Tell it now, please.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, when I was at
Don't wait.
when I was at Iowa Western, I was actually being recruited by Iowa State and Weber State, which is in Ogden, Utah. And George
Boy, that
Raveling-
would have been more culture
That would have
shock.
been more culture shock, but I was ready for it at the time. But George Raveling was the coach at Weber State.
Yeah.
But then he left and went to Washington, and then Iowa State, which is where I was going to go. The coaching staff got fired that year. The year I was going to go, and a new staff came in. However, Reggie Warford, people who know him, he became an assistant coach at Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up coming here. He used to, I look in the stands, and of
See
course
him.
in Iowa, there's Reggie. He stuck out like a sore thumb. So
That's hard to believe.
yeah, so when those things fell through, I actually had nowhere to go. But my coach at the time was familiar with Marty Blake, who had a basketball scouting service in this area.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
had found out that Doug Arnold was leaving Duquesne.
Yeah.
and a small forward position was becoming open. So Robert Morris and Duquesne was looking for a small forward. And
like you.
Yeah, they hadn't recruited me. And so they said, can you come out for a weekend? And so I came to Pittsburgh for a weekend.
Wow.
BB, we went to the gym. He was graduating that year. And he was going with the Boston Celtics, I'm sorry. And so they said, hadn't seen me play. So we had to go to the gym that Saturday morning and play. So I really had to perform for my scholarship.
Wow.
And so at that time, there was no three-point line. So we played a few games, and it was interesting when you talk about adversity. Being in Iowa for that period of time, when I would get homesick, I would go outside and shoot. So a lot of guys would stay in a room and cry or go back home or do whatever.
You kept shooting.
I kept shooting.
Wow.
I kept shooting.
Wow.
And you got better.
And I got better and better. And then when I had to come to this audition, so to speak, it wasn't preparing at that time. I had prepared over time for years, just by putting in the work. And it was interesting because Mike Rice was the coach at the time, Mike Rice Sr., and he had to leave town. And so I went back to school, and I remember it was a Wednesday when he called. And he apologized for not being there and talked about the reports that he got and offered me a scholarship over the phone.
Just like that.
And the first thing he said was, I'll meet you in Detroit because I want to meet, with your mother, your parents, because I understand the coach you played for didn't do that. And my mother, he heard from my family.
Wow.
And it's been like that. So it was great, and I've been here ever since.
That's a great story.
That was 1980.
I'm glad you shared that story.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story.
Yes. And you mentioned my son, and I share with him. It's always big picture. We have our adversity, our setbacks, but you got to be prepared, for the future. So when a game shows up, I always tell him championships are won in the summer. It's not who do things when the season starts or when practice starts. It's who puts in the work before time. So
that's been a good theme of our show so far. You know that. I've been saying hard work every time you're on here.
That's
all the rest of the guests.
You have to put in the work.
It's funny how that brings success.
It does.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But you will play better.
You will, and you have to prepare.
And sometimes teams are better than you.
Sometimes,
right?
But the best team doesn't always win. So that's.
I'd rather be lucky though.
I like that.
Yeah, that's right. I like being lucky and good.
So sometimes, you need your setbacks and your failures, and things that I've gotten wrong, I remember.
Isn't that funny like that?
Yeah. Life throws you curves, but it's to prepare you. It's to prepare you.
Well, God knows you're strong enough.
That's right.
It's just a matter of when.
Yep. And He knows when you have to lean on Him for the strength.
Yes, sir.
So,
every day.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean? You're not taking a day off, are you? Come on, man.
No doubt about it.
No days off.
Yep.
So what do you do now?
Well, I actually I work for Pittsburgh Mercy Health System. I work with adults with mental health disorders.
Okay.
So I have a team of 9 people that go into the community, and they have caseloads of up to 25 people that they work with to help have a better quality of life.
Wow.
So I'm in the social services, and
you're doing a lot of good in the community.
A lot of good. So it's not a job. That's my purpose. It's always been people.
Well, it's great you can do that and combine that.
Yeah, absolutely. I still referee. I officiate
do
basketball
you?
to keep me around.
My
the game.
dad was a basketball referee. I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Back in the '60s up to the '80s.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had a lot of years refereeing. I went around with him. I didn't play basketball because who wants your dad refereeing your games?
Right. Well, I lived it. When Barnett played, Barnett Jr. played in high school. He took a lot out on referees because of when he was upset with his dad. He saw referees, so he would be kind of.
He saw the zebra shirt.
He saw the shirts, and he wasn't too friendly.
The zebras weren't his friends.
No, but he's learned.
It built character, and look what happened.
They prepared him, and a lot of the officials around here, if they knew, they would be very proud because how he talks with officials and how he conducts himself. He has
respect.
Yep.
Well, sometimes it takes time.
It does. And the light switch come on, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
No, that's good stuff.
Yes.
When did you start playing sports? Do you remember? Like any sport. Can you think back?
Well, I'm from a big family.
Okay.
I'm number 8 of 9.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Wow. So I have.
So you had hand-me-downs like crazy.
Oh man, you know, I mean.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'7".
Okay.
My mom was 5'11". My dad was 6'2".
Okay, so you couldn't wear his clothes or your mother's clothes, right?
Well, it was my brother's clothes. By the time I got it, it was three, four times.
Okay.
3-4 times removed.
I got it. I'm working on that. Right.
So, but you develop thick skin, you know. So
sure. And what sport do you first remember playing? Was it basketball or not?
It was basketball.
Okay.
It was basketball. Well,
your brothers, were they all tall?
Yes, all except one. There were 7 boys, 2 girls.
Okay.
And I didn't catch a break. So when I played with my friends, when we were at the park, we would play basketball before the older guys.
Do you have a younger brother or sister?
One younger brother.
Okay.
Younger brother.
So you caught almost all of it.
I caught all of it. And
Did
he was
you?
5 years younger, yes.
That's why.
So, but when it was time for us to leave the park and the older guys were coming, I wasn't allowed to leave. My brothers would make me stay and play with the older guys.
Wow.
Made you a better player.
Made me a better player. I didn't know it at the time. You know, I would whine.
You thought they were mean.
Yeah, yep.
Well, they probably are. Okay, I was just guessing. Because if it seems like they're mean, they are.
They were mean.
Okay.
And, but I needed all of it. So.
And it helped you.
Absolutely.
How many children do you have?
I have 4. I have 3 daughters and a son. Barnett's the youngest.
Okay.
He just turned 22 on Friday.
Wow.
You know, so
my favorite player of all time.
Yeah, he's at his junior year at the University of Delaware.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, he's doing.
And your girls, did they play any sports?
They did for a little while, but it was too much of what I had gotten when I grew up, and it wasn't for them. So I kind of chased them away from sports.
Sure.
So it took me a while to learn to back off, and but
you learned.
All 3 swam actually. All 3 have been lifeguards.
Swimmers?
Yes, Barnett, Baraka, and Lindsay.
Smoking Jim's unbelievable.
And my oldest daughter, Tamara, she played a little basketball, but yeah.
Just a little.
Just a little. So.
No, that'll happen.
Yeah. So this is it's a great time. You know, I mean, sports is a microcosm of life. So, you know.
Well, that's why we're trying to bring the positive out, like what you brought here tonight, your stories.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially from Iowa.
Yeah, to support Big Jim, you know. We got Smoking Jim. Anytime he calls, I'm there.
I appreciate it.
Boy, I'm glad he called you now, because I've been trying to say, get some of these guests on here, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you made it to our show. I appreciate you sharing your story, and good luck in the community with what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to bring out, or you want to say something to Smoking Jim?
Oh, we'll talk.
Okay.
You know, I'm in a good place. It's good to be here. I got a couple of friends here. One friend, Dave Quick. We're trying to teach him about sports. You know,
I got a question for you. How's it working out?
Well, he's about 70 years old, so if he hasn't learned it now, he's not going to learn it.
Okay. Well, don't call him hopeless yet.
He has a Ravens coat on, so you know what can you teach him?
You can't. But look, I wore purple. I wore purple because I appreciate their losing. Things like that. People think that I'm respecting. I'm not respecting them.
Rubbing it in.
Their team got stolen from Cleveland.
Right.
I feel bad for Cleveland.
And a lot of people forget about that. But here's the secret, though.
Go ahead.
They're not through losing.
Well, why do you think I'm representing this?
That's right.
For a loss.
They're not through losing.
Yeah, definitely. They got some big issues out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I got to give Flacco some credit for surviving and playing with an ACL and MCL.
Well, Flacco, he's a University of Delaware,
Yes,
so I'm a Flacco fan. You know,
Whoa. Well, he was a Pitt guy till they didn't even know what they had.
Right.
Well, I want to thank you for being on our show.
It.
You
Well,
take
you got
care.
one more guy that you brought too that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Terrence Smith, one of Clarion's finest. He played at Clarion.
Where?
He's Clarion.
Hey, Smoking Jim, if you want to bring a few more people in off the street, these guys have been here all night. I'm glad you took the last 10 seconds to say something, but we got to close the show out. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks to the Park House and Zamir for having us. Thanks to Bethel Park, Dave Cable. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, and all our guests. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we always close with Stay Joey Strong.